All right, today we're jumping into something that's becoming absolutely critical in the tech world, AI observability. So picture this. Your company is finally deploying that shiny new AI. It could be for anything, customer service, generating code, you name it. It feels powerful, right? It's exciting. But here's the kicker. Once it's out there in the wild, do you really know what it's doing? I mean, what's actually happening under the hood? That question right there is what's keeping a lot of tech leaders up at night. And that big question, it leads us straight into what everyone in the industry is calling AI's black box problem. So let's break down what that actually means and, what risks come along for the ride. The thing is, at their heart, a lot of these generative AI models are, well, they're opaque. It's not like a calculator where you put in 2 plus 2 and always get 4. It's more like a creative brain. It's incredibly powerful, sure, but why it does what it does can be a total mystery, sometimes even to the people who built it. Now, that's fine when you're just experimenting in a lab, but when it's live in a real production environment, you're looking at a whole new world of business risk.
And this risk isn't just some abstract idea. It breaks down into real, painful problems. Think about the engineers on the front lines, the SREs, right? Their job is to keep everything running smoothly. When something breaks with the AI, it's a nightmare to debug. Then there's the cost. It can just spiral out of control, all based on something called token usage, basically how much work the AI is doing. And maybe the scariest part? Over time, the model can just get worse. Its training data gets stale and its quality degrades. They call this model drift. And believe me, it is a silent killer for any AI-powered product. Okay, so that's the problem. It's a big one. So what's the answer? Well, this is where we borrow a concept from the world of modern cloud operations and give it a serious upgrade for the AI era. We're talking about AI observability.
At its core, AI observability is all about one thing: visibility. Getting a real-time look inside that black box. It's the practice of collecting all the data signals, what the pros call telemetry, from every single piece of your AI stack. We're talking the large language model itself, the tools that manage it, even the servers it's running on. All so you can get a complete, unified picture of how this thing is actually behaving out in the real world.
Now, it's really important to understand how this is different from old-school monitoring. Think of it like this. Monitoring is your car's check engine light. It just blinks at you and says, hey, something's wrong. But that's it. Observability? That's the full diagnostic report the mechanic plugs in. It doesn't just tell you that something's wrong, it tells you why it's wrong and exactly how to fix it. It's the difference between knowing you have a problem and actually understanding it. So how do you make this practical? Well, teams basically track a dashboard of vital signs for their AI. You've got stability. How often is it succeeding versus failing? Latency. How long are you waiting for a response? Load. How many requests can it handle? And a huge one. Cost. Got to keep that token usage and budget under control. And of course, you're constantly watching for model drift, making sure the AI's answers are still accurate. These metrics are what turn that scary black box into something you can actually measure and, more importantly, manage.
Okay, so
thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to our channel.
Okay, so with that whole framework in mind, let's take a look at a real-world example. We're going to see how one of the big players in the space, Dynatrace, is building a solution to tackle this problem head-on. And you can see how seriously they're taking this, right? From the very top. Their CEO, Rick McConnell, says observability isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's mission-critical. And that right there tells you everything. For any company that's really betting big on AI, managing how it performs isn't some side project. It has to be at the absolute center of the strategy. So what's their secret sauce? Essentially, they're using AI to watch over AI. It's pretty cool. Their platform combines two different kinds of intelligence. You've got deterministic AI, which is all about predictable, rule-based logic, and then you have agentic AI, which is more autonomous. It can reason its way through complex problems. The whole point is to automatically figure out the root cause of an issue, to go way beyond a simple alert and actually give you an answer. But look, just having a cool tool isn't enough in today's world. The real strategy, the big play, is building an entire ecosystem around it, one that's open and connects to everything. And Dynatrace is pulling this off with a really clear two-pronged strategy. First, they went out and bought a company called BindPlane. Why? To handle the fire hose of data and create these open pipelines to bring in all that telemetry from the AI systems. Then, for step 2, they launched a new platform that acts like a bridge. It securely takes all the insights they found and pushes them directly into the tools developers are already using. Stuff like GitHub Copilot or ServiceNow. Super smart. And what this lets them do is cover the entire modern AI stack. We're not just talking about watching the big models from OpenAI or Amazon. No, this goes deeper. It includes the vector databases, that's what gives AI its memory. It includes the orchestration frameworks like LangChain that manage all the complicated workflows. It even goes all the way down to the metal, the specialized GPUs and TPUs that this stuff actually runs on. It's the whole shebang. So that's the strategy. It sounds pretty solid on paper, right? But the real question is it actually working? Let's dive into the numbers and see what the market thinks.
First up, let's look at the top line. Dynatrace is getting incredibly close to $2 billion in annual recurring revenue. Now, a number that big isn't just impressive, it's a massive signal. It tells you that huge companies are adopting this and trusting it. This isn't some niche tool anymore, it's becoming a core part of the modern tech stack. And that revenue? It's not just sitting there, it's growing at a really healthy 16% year over year. In a market this competitive, that kind of growth is a huge deal. It shows they have serious momentum and that demand for what they're doing is real and sustained.
And if you need any more proof of their confidence, check this out. The company just authorized a $1 billion share repurchase program. That is a major financial power move. It's basically management shouting to the market, we are so confident in our own business, we're betting $1 billion on ourselves. It signals incredible financial strength.
Okay, so where do they fit in the grand scheme of things? Let's put this into context. If you look at the whole observability market, Datadog is the undisputed leader, with New Relic coming in as a strong number 2. Dynatrace is currently sitting around number 4. What this tells us is that while they are absolutely a major player, there's still a massive competitive battlefield out there. And that AI-first strategy we've been talking about, that's their secret weapon. They're key to capturing more of that market.
So why should you care about all this? In a super crowded market where everyone's looking for an edge, what's the big deal about AI observability? Well, it all boils down to business impact, plain and simple. When you have this complete end-to-end visibility, you literally slash the amount of time your engineers waste hunting for bugs. That directly lowers your operational costs. But even more important, it frees up your best and brightest people to actually build new things and innovate, instead of just being stuck fixing what's broken.
And that really brings us to the final big question here. As AI continues to weave itself into pretty much every product and every single business process out there, you have to wonder, is having this kind of deep, automated insight no longer just a luxury or a nice advantage to have? Has it become an absolute necessity just to survive?